When you think about commercial spaces, the walls are so much more than just walls. They're a massive blank canvas. But for years, the way we've actually treated them has been, well, kind of flawed. Today, we're going to dive into a new standard for wall graphics, one that goes way beyond decoration and turns your walls into a real asset for your brand and your operations. And that really brings up a critical question for anyone leading a brand or managing a facility. Are your walls working for you, or are they working against you? It sounds dramatic, but the way you cover them is a huge strategic decision. It's not just about looks. It hits your budget, your day-to-day operations, and the entire vibe of your space. So, to really appreciate what's new, we have to talk about the old way of doing things. For decades, the go-to has been vinyl and wallpaper, and we've all just kind of accepted the long list of headaches and hidden costs that come along for the ride. Oh, and these problems are familiar, right? The adhesives start to fail, and you get that dreaded bubbling and peeling. The seams, which you can avoid, become grime magnets and start lifting at the edges. Installation takes forever and needs specialists. And when you need an update, forget about it. You're looking at major downtime and a ton of waste. And this is so important. The price you pay upfront for traditional stuff, that's just the beginning. The real pain is in all the hidden costs. The business you lose during downtime for repairs, the money you have to shell out for unplanned fixes on failed seams, and the damage to your brand when things look inconsistent from one location to the next. That's what quietly eats away at your bottom line. But what if you could just eliminate those problems from the get-go? Well, that takes a totally different, much smarter approach, and that's direct-to-wall printing technology. So what is it exactly? Okay, imagine a super advanced mobile printer that comes to your site and applies this really durable, high-res ink right onto the wall itself. No vinyl, no glue, no panels. The whole thing happens right there, creating a perfectly seamless graphic that literally becomes a part of the building. And the result? It solves every single one of those problems we just talked about. Because there are no panels, the image is totally seam-free. It's just one continuous, beautiful visual. By printing directly on the wall, you get rid of adhesives, which are a massive point of failure, and when it's time for a change, you just paint right over it. It feels like a true architectural finish, not some sticker you slapped on the wall. The versatility here is just incredible. We're not just talking about perfectly smooth drywall. This technology is so robust, it can print directly onto all kinds of common commercial surfaces. Things like concrete block, poured concrete, even brick. This just opens up a whole new world of possibilities for branding spaces that used to be impossible to work with. And that brings us to a really big shift in mindset. Direct-to-wall printing isn't just a new way to make things look pretty. It's a legitimate upgrade to your operations. We're moving the conversation from just aesthetics to performance, durability, and predictability. And check this out. This is the killer stat for any operations manager. A typical installation from the moment the team shows up to the final sign-off can be done in under 5 hours. Think about that. A huge, stunning graphic can go up overnight or on a weekend with basically zero disruption to your business. Let's just put that side by side. The old way takes days and messes with your operations. You're at the mercy of shipping delays and fabrication mistakes that you only discover when it's too late. And taking it down is a nightmare. The smart way? It takes hours, with almost no disruption. You can make adjustments right there on site, and removal is as easy as a coat of paint. It's just a completely different universe of efficiency and control. Oh, and it's tough. These graphics are built for the real world. They're durable, they can be cleaned just like a painted wall, which is a huge deal in places like hospitals and schools. With no seams, there are no edges to peel, chip, or lift up. The finish resists scuffs, and it holds up against UV light, so your brand looks just as sharp on day 1000 as it did on day 1. Okay, let's talk about the money side of things, because this is where it gets really compelling. To see the true value here, you have to look past that initial price tag and focus on the total cost of ownership over the entire life of the graphic. When you look at the whole cost stack, the difference is night and day. Traditional vinyl is loaded with all these extra costs: the material itself, fabrication, shipping, specialized labor, rework from stakes, and that big one, downtime. Direct-to-wall printing just wipes most of those line items off the board. The cost boils down to the print service itself, which makes it a way more efficient model. And this is really the main takeaway. The best argument isn't about that initial price. The real win is in life cycle efficiency.
You're reducing disruption, getting rid of all those common points of failure, and you're dodging all those surprise expenses that pop up with repairs and replacements.
The savings really start to compound in a few key areas. You're spending less on specialized labor, you've got no shipping or logistics costs, you're not paying for removal or landfill fees, and most importantly, you're minimizing that massive hidden cost of operational downtime. That's how you see efficiency gains multiply on every single project. But listen, amazing technology is only half the battle. To get consistent, incredible results at scale, you have to pair it with a really tight professional process. That's the secret to turning a one-off project into a predictable, scalable program, which for any brand with multiple locations is absolutely essential. An expert approach means following a meticulous plan that's designed to take all the risk out of the project. It starts with really understanding your goals, then moves through detailed site surveys, super strict file governance to keep the brand consistent, and on-site proofing to make sure the color is perfect. Every single step, from safety to scheduling, is designed to guarantee a predictable, successful result every time. And hey, here's a little insider tip for when you're writing up a project spec. Don't just ask for a wall graphic. Demand performance. Use language like seam-free, paint-over ready, and require proof of consistent execution across multi-location rollouts. This makes sure you're getting a true high-performance solution, not just another decal.
Because this solution is so flexible, you see it being used in all sorts of industries. In healthcare, it's perfect for integrated wayfinding that won't peel. In education, it helps create a unified campus identity. For retail, it's the secret to pulling off super-fast seasonal campaigns. The common thread here is that this technology is solving real-world operational problems.
So, that brings us back to where we started, but maybe with a new way of looking at things. The conversation isn't just about covering your walls anymore. It's about using every single surface to its absolute fullest potential. So the real question to ask yourself is this: is your space simply being occupied, or is it truly being optimized? That right there is the new standard. Thanks for tuning in.